Now, back in Nigeria, expecting affordable price for fuel in the short term to medium term is unrealistic benefit of the Dangote refinery, but we could expect energy security. This is the view of Mr. Bismarck Rawani, the Chief Executive Officer of the Financial Derivatives Company. He made a comment earlier today on Business Morning.
Dangote Refinery, or any refinery for that matter, apart from government-owned refineries, are in business to produce at a profit. Two, they will produce at a price point where their marginal cost equals their marginal revenue. And they will not sell below cost. If not, if they did that consistently, they will go out of business. I think those are fundamental. Secondly, what are Nigerians struggling with today? They're struggling with high price of petrol, unavailability and uncertainty as to when you will get it. Then also about quality. So if you take those three things put together, what Dangote Refinery is assuring the country is that one, we will assure you of quality, we will assure you of quantity, but that pricing is not necessarily in the hands of Dangote Refinery, but in the hands of the market. The market determines the price, so including the global crude price, a guaranteed margin, and the cost of processing. It's as simple as that. Nobody goes into business to sell below its cost price. If not, that is suicide. So Dangote would not have been where he is today if he was doing that. He would have gone out of business a long time ago in other endeavors.
So that's it. Of course, the issue of energy security, energy affordability in Nigeria is an ongoing one, which we hope will have at least a soft landing sometime soon. Now, talking about energy security in the country, we've been focusing a whole lot on the oil and gas. What about the alternative? The CNG is one alternative which the federal government is pushing. We see the federal government presidential compressed natural gas initiative. They're targeting the creation of about 100,000 jobs from an estimated 1 million conversion of vehicles. And the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Committee, that initiative is a scheme which seeks to expand the use of gas for fueling vehicles in Nigeria. They've signed deals with about 75 conversion firms nationwide. This is part of the government's policy to reduce, well, the connection or dependence on petrol and diesel. The agreements cover 8 states, and they're set to expand. But of course, there are so many issues that have come out of this. I wonder if you watched News at 10 last night. A lot of people are still complaining about the issue of cost of conversion. So even when we have this center, 75 of them, they've been connected into the system now. What about the cost for that? Let's speak now to the head of commercial of that initiative, that's of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. Mr. Tosin joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Koka, good afternoon and welcome to Channels Television.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here.
Great. So we see that you're expanding your footprints in the country. You now have more than 75 dealers where conversion can be done. So tell us about that first. What's the requirement? How do people qualify for that? Any vehicle, any generators? I know people also like to change or convert their generator usage also. So tell us how that works.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, the Presidential CNG Initiative is focused at the moment on the transportation sector. The idea is to use the alternative which we have, which is CNG, to fuel the nation, to fuel the transport sector. So Mr. President has directed that we approach it this way, and we are focusing primarily at the moment on the mass transit sector. So that is for commercial vehicles, commercial operators who are affiliated with the unions, which are your NURTW, your NARTO, and the RITIAN, as well as the state-affiliated, state-run taxi and bus companies. So these companies, these drivers can come with their vehicles and their memberships or their registrations, and come to these up to over 75 now conversion centers which we have signed up with, and they can have their vehicles converted to CNG, so they'll run at dual CNG, that's petrol and CNG, the dual fuel, and that will be at no cost to them. The government is taking on the cost of that conversion kit as well as the installation.
Okay.
So that's what we've been pushing out. We pushed out over the weekend. We kick-started this massive push to do 10,000 conversions. We started with just over 1,000 kits at the weekend, and we're just going to be rolling those out as the days and weeks progress.
Yeah, well, of course, sounds nice when you say at no cost, but what has been the response so far from this, operators of the mass transit?
Oh, so far it's been good. We had a very good response. All the sites, we had 18 sites that we delivered kits to over the weekend, and they were full. We did a promo which we called Operation First Come First Served, and we had a number of drivers turn up, and I think they were all oversubscribed, if I'm not mistaken, where we had a promo where the first 50 would get converted. So the process is two-staged. First of all, the vehicles must come for pre-inspection, and that's what was happening on Saturday, whilst we awaited the arrival of kits if they hadn't been there already. So we did pre-inspections, which means the cars come, we check your details of the driver and the registration, make sure everything there is correct and they're truly able to qualify for this. And then they check the vehicle, they check the state of the vehicle, and see if it is truly convertible. So that means, has it been well kept? Is it all in order, or do they need to do any modifications before we can actually put the CNG kit and cylinders in these vehicles? And once the car has been passed fit and ready for conversion, we schedule the conversion, and it takes a few hours, and within a day they should be ready to go. And the uptake has been good. People are very, very keen. Of course, the price of petrol has skyrocketed over the last couple of weeks. So here is an alternative, which we believe is a good alternative. It's a good, cleaner, safer, and cheaper, much cheaper alternative to the petrol that we've been using and has been effectively, bankrupting the country for so long.
Yeah, cleaner, safer, but the cheaper part, a lot of people will ask, is it really cheaper? How much is it to fill a tank, for instance? I know you're dealing with the buses, the public transports for now, and obviously it has to be maintained. They have to keep the tanks full. Is it really cheaper at the end of the day, or is it because of this new price of petrol?
No, it's always been cheaper. Even before the price of petrol went up, it is cheaper. Currently, you can fill gas for as low as 230 naira per standard cubic meter. We call it SCUM, which is roughly equivalent to 1 liter of petrol, 1 liter. So, that on its own is cheaper. So a cylinder of gas can cost up to about 3-4, maybe the larger ones can be between 4,500 naira to fill. And that will take you a good 300 kilometers or so. So it is cheaper. Yes, you might have to maybe refill more frequently than you have to refill your petrol tank. But let me give you an example. An Uber driver or a Bolt driver who typically earns maybe 50,000 naira per day on their business, they would probably spend a big chunk of that buying petrol. 30,000 naira refilling, whereas the same guy will earn the same 50,000 naira per day, but only spend about 4,000 naira a day on gas. So there already, it is cheaper, and the Bolt or Uber driver is pocketing, quite a lot more. Now, what we're doing here with this conversion incentive program is government is giving these kits to operators for free. For the rideshare guys, your Bolt and Ubers, InDrive, and the like, those are at a 50% discount. Nevertheless, government is giving these at a significant discount or for free, and it is expected, and we're working with the unions and the organizations that we sign up with on this, to ensure that these savings that they're making are passed on to the consumer. There's no point in us just giving these kits and then the operators are just pocketing the money. It is essential, it is written into our agreements and our understandings with them that these are passed on to the consumer so that everybody enjoys the benefits of this initiative.
How soon do we expect this, at least cheaper conversion or maybe even free, to head to the private sector, individuals and all that?
Well, you'll appreciate that we can only do so much at a time. At the moment, we're focusing purely on the public, the commercial sector as directed. But there are kits available across the nation. Most of these conversion centers that we are partnering with, they also have their own kits, which they have brought in. And what we understand, we appreciate that the cost of conversion is not cheap, is not high. Not everyone has from 700,000 to 800,000 naira up to 1.5 million, depending as the case may be, depending on their vehicle. However, what we are doing to make it accessible to all is working with a number of finance organizations, finance lenders, to make products available so that the average man, salary earners, business people can also come in and have access to these conversions. So things such as spread payments or different products, so we're working with them actively on that, and it's not something that government is blind to. We are very conscious of that. At the end of the day, it is better for all of us if we transition to CNG. The sooner, the better, because one, it is cleaner. Two, everyone benefits and everyone has more money in their pocket, which on its own is good for the economy, generates the economy, because you can spend that money doing other things or you can save, but basically you're not just pouring that money into petrol and petrol and petrol again.
Yeah, well, I guess the government will have to do more to encourage the conversion. As you yourself said, it's kind of expensive, for an individual to cough out, especially at a time like this, about 800,000 naira at least, to get that conversion. And of course, even though you're working with about 75 centers for the maintenance and refilling, you and I know that will not even be enough, even for the public transportation operators that you're targeting at this time, for the areas that they will have to.
You're correct, yes. The 75 that we have so far are just in a small handful of states. We want to touch every single state in this country, and we'll need best part of 2,000 conversion centers nationwide. So what we have at the moment is just a start, it's a drop in the ocean. We have to do a lot more. So we know that there are a lot of conversion centers out there that haven't quite come into the fold yet. So we're urging all to get in touch if they haven't already yet. We are also going out, deploying our own field officers to go out there and to bring those in who are already operating, ensuring that they're meeting the right regulations, the standards. And once we've checked that, we have a very robust system. Once we've checked that, we sign them on board and we continue to push this initiative through these centers. We need as many as possible because to be able to meet our target of 1 million vehicle conversions between the next 18 to 24 months, we can't do that with 75 or 100 or even 1,000 conversion centers.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Head of Commercial for Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Mr. Tosin.